We're going to start off with going back to proving there are no satellites. The GPS and all that's just a joke. I haven't had a lot of luck with playing these clips. The audio sometimes it sounds tinny, but until I can come up with or think of a better idea, this will be worth it. It's barely 30 seconds. This is what Army surveyors are doing now.
Because artillery operations are sensitive, you must qualify for a secret clearance in this MOS. Then the Army will train you in skills such as map reading and principles of surveying. You'll train to use optical instruments such as the T-16 theodolite and electronic devices such as the improved position azimuth determining system.
That's what I wanted you to hear, the improved positioning azimuth direction center. What did he say? Now let's listen to that again.
Trained to use optical instruments such as the T-16 theodolite and electronic devices such as the improved position azimuth determining system, or
position azimuth determining system. Okay, and it's the improved parallel azimuth determining system. We used to call it, these guys now are 13 T's or 13 M's. We were just 82 Charlies. And there were some other surveyors that did something else. And we called it, when I was on a platoon, just me and like 4 other guys and 2 sergeants, 2 Jeeps. And they had the pads in the back. We called it the parallel azimuth direction system, or CINDER. That's what we called it. And what I called it was, like, we didn't have to work. My last 8 or 9 months, I was a surveyor at Fort Bragg. And the system they used took up the whole back of a Jeep. So when I said 2 Jeeps, I mean they had 2 Jeeps for separate pads, and then we had 2 other Jeeps for us. So that's your pads. This was your 82 Charlie. What we did. Record field data, schematic sketches, survey stations, platforms, astronomic observations. I never had an opportunity to where I could have seen where that would have been possibly, they needed me to do that. But measuring azimuth angles, basically you had to go from one known position to another known position and make sure that every position in between was a known position. And there you go. It was your pads operator. So this was even after, this must have been when they were phasing it out. And so it was, the 82 Charlie is gone bye-bye as of 2011. But I wanted to look up, so I just was Googling parallel azimuth direction sensor system. I wasn't getting anything. I ended up finding a couple of different things that I had found like 6 months ago, looked for here and there, but just so much stuff to learn, right? Everybody. So I looked up a couple of them that were connected to, azimuths and cinders, and I looked at them. Magnetic azimuth detector. Okay. And this was for a industrial sewing machine. Yeah. And so, I read a little bit about it, and pretty complicated, man. When you get those bobbins down there bobbing. But I just, took a couple of chances here. I just clicked one, And sure enough, it was about a compass system. And I've got to say, I was on here. Now that I think about it, it was around Christmas time, and so it was 9 months ago. And I remember that it was here, and I found it like on the boom first try. So I'm pretty happy about that. And what it does is it takes your gets converted using proportional DC currents because you don't have the harmonic vibrations and pitch, I guess, and it cancels out all the sound to where they're going to be using the term to a near null. You know, your guess is as good as mine. I'm thinking that it is the silencing of the vibrations and the factor so that it can settle down the compass. If you've ever used a compass, I mean, if you move it, you're going to wait a couple of seconds for that maybe to get back pulled north. And so it's a you know we're on it, man. It was a automatic field cancellation, and you can look that up. I guess this is the patent number. uh, I think I'm in German or something, French. No, that must be German. And so some of the translations are goofy, but it's just the way I'd rather do it. So it just goes breaking down all of their reasons why it's different, and when they get down to the probably their we claim it's a magnetic compass system for a navigable craft. The combination comprising detector means including a plurality of pickup windings responsible to the direction of the Earth's magnetic field relative thereto for providing a first polarity of alternating signals representing a respective vector component thereof, getting your triangulation and everything, and you're picking up a beacon, and it's able to get a clear, clean. There's the beep right there. I'm going right to that beep, and so they're happy with it. Of course, in their claim, it's good. And so I think I popped on. I looked for a couple of more over here that had, to do with compasses, and I looked at these, and sure enough, these are just improvements on the other ones. Hey, look at that figure too. You see, this thing brings it down to null. This is the opposite of the flux capacitor. See, the flux capacitor needed a gigawatts to kick it up. This flux anti-flux capacitor bring it down. I just thought it looked like a flux capacitor. And there's so many good videos about the symbolism of 9/11 and everything else in that movie. It's just crazy. I remember with my ex-wife, we were dating. We saw that one when we were dating, and it was like, that was a big deal. It was a very popular movie, and we was like, well, they got our money, and they were good. For brainwashing, what do we know? So here, what else do you need? The problem was let me and see if this is the one. I only want to show this. We're only going to go a few more minutes. I could read the digital flange, blah blah blah. A lot of magnetic stuff here. Let's just see if this last one is the strap down induction compass transmitter with compensation for heading error due to the vertical component of the Earth's magnetic field and due to two-cycle error during turns and during climbing and diving maneuvers. Okay, so the problem is the compass is supposed to be flat, let that needle float, but what they're doing is turning, diving, and climbing. Your yaws and your yin yangs are all in there, your pitches and that stuff. And so it's pretty easy to see that the reason that they're dealing with these is that they just are getting, closer and closer to getting one that really works. And they're just improving on what the pads system was. If they have the same system and all it is an improved pads, and whether they're calling it a parallel azimuth direction sender or system or a parallel azimuth detection system, it's a direction detection sensor system. Get the direction, who's getting detected. It's just, they're just changing the words to use the same thing. And iPad, the iPad system. I got my iPads. No, I'm going to look up that for iPads and see if this guy's telling the truth. What do you think is going to come up? Like 48 pages of get your fake iPad charger? Genius. I don't know if they can think that far ahead, but if they can, no wonder we got this far behind the ball, right? And so it's mostly when it's turning, the angle dip. And so if everything they're telling us, because and I know that you can take my word for it, you can go through this. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to want to be called out on this. In one of these articles, it's telling you that the problem with those gimbals and the what they're doing now with their gyroscopes is they're lagging on their turns and stuff. Yeah, they're still, maybe we can't see it with our eye, but it's still lagging. It's a mechanical device. So, it's just getting, errors induced by the Earth's vertical field during these maneuvers without sensing the vertical field directly. They're used to cancel the effect of the Earth's vertical field. The compensating signals are derived from the Earth's magnetic field, a known quantity. The magnetic dip angle D, a known quantity for any given latitude and longitude, and the tilt angle of the plane. That's the only tilt angle you're figuring in on that. Yeah. Just since quantity is obtainable from the aircraft's vertical gyroscope. Turn compensating, they wouldn't be looking to, when was this? They're just really getting into some, let's just say they're pretty close right now on everything they're doing now is just trying to get, closer to perfect. Good luck with that. Hey, thanks for staying with me on this one. I mean, I could throw in a bunch of flat Earth maps and stuff like that, but this is I mean, this is the same thing. This is the same thing they were using in the 70s, 79, 80. It was field tested by late 82, and I was there. I was helping. So, signing off here, Flat Earth Nation. Don't let them tell you anything else.